You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't KIEQ on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't KIEQ on the mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't KIEQ on the mic.
The Chicago Bears are rumored to add this last edge rusher to complete their defensive line. Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of KIEQ on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Bears fans, make sure you also do me a huge favor by also liking today's episode of KIEQ on the Mic. So, Bears fans, it isn't a secret that the Chicago Bears didn't really address the edge rusher position too much. Of course, they drafted Austin Booker in the 5th round of the 2024 NFL draft, which he needs at least 1 year to develop into a hopefully true superstar for the Chicago Bears defensive line. And they also added a couple of different options in free agency as well. But it's no secret that Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears didn't really add a legitimate number 2 alongside Montez Sweat, like a running mate. So that makes it seem that Ryan Poles and Chicago Bears could be interested, maybe go out and get a proven guy. I know we've talked about many different options here on the podcast before. This has been a topic discussion all offseason long, even though Ryan Poles has addressed many different needs along the Chicago Bears roster. Edge rusher is still one of those areas of need for the Chicago Bears, even though they did select Austin Booker in the 5th round of the 2024 NFL draft. And the latest name to be rumored, possibly up for trade for the Chicago Bears, is Matthew Judon of the New England Patriots. You know, and this is an interesting name because since 2017, he has been one of the more consistent edge rushers in the National Football League. He's made 4 Pro Bowls and showcased his star power in 2022 with 15.5 sacks with the New England Patriots. He did sadly injure his bicep. He had a torn bicep last season, but it looked like he was in store for another huge season with the New England Patriots before he tore his bicep. In 4 games before he did tear that bicep, he had 4 sacks, and he's always been a guy that can consistently get into the backfield, beat you in many different ways. And there's a lot of people out there thinking that this won't be a major setback for him. They think he's going to come back stronger than ever. And this is the first time that a guy like Matthew Judon has missed significant time. So the anticipation for him to come back is that he will come back better than ever and get back right where he left off. And even though a lot of people think he's going to come back to the New England Patriots, Matt Holder at Bleacher Report wonders if the organization might actually look to move a guy like Matthew Judon. And he mentioned the Bears as a possibility for Matthew Judon. He said, had this to say: the 8-year veteran is coming off of a torn bicep, but he was productive in his limited playing time last year. He racked up 4 sacks in as many games prior to his injury. The New England Patriots are rebuilding, so it doesn't make sense to roster a soon-to-be 32-year-old who is entering a contract year. The Patriots would be better off acquiring draft picks from Judon and will receive about $6.7 million of cap relief by dealing him post June 1st. Meanwhile, the Bears currently have more than $22.6 million available, and adding a proven pass rusher could be just what the defense needs to make a playoff push this fall. That should pique defensive-minded head coach Matt Eberflus's interest, especially since Eberflus is widely considered to be on the hot seat heading into the 2024 season. Bears fans, Matt Holder is absolutely correct. Matthew Judon can definitely help the Chicago Bears right away. And we all know that the New England Patriots are basically in a rebuild. They did draft Drake May, but no one expects the New England Patriots to compete. Matthew Judon is 32 years old, so it makes really no sense for him to stay on the New England Patriots, and that's why Matt Holder believes that they could seek a trade for the 32-year-old star pass rusher, and the Chicago Bears do make a lot of sense. The Bears do have technically $22.6 million right now. We still have to pay Caleb Williams. We still have to pay Rome Odunze, right? All that good stuff. So after that, we could possibly have a little bit of spending money left over to maybe go out and get a guy like Matthew Judon. To me, the injury doesn't scare me. Even though a torn bicep is a very serious injury, this was the very first time that he has missed a lengthy period of time. For the most part, he has been very healthy. Once again, in 2022, he had 15.5 sacks. He has made 4 Pro Bowls. Prior to his injury, he had 4 sacks in 4 games. So Matthew Judon has always been a very consistent player. I think this is a guy that would be able to create havoc along the Chicago Bears defensive line. Once again, he wouldn't have to come to Chicago and be the guy. Montez Sweat is their number one option. That means Matthew Judon would get those one-on-one matchups. And let me tell you this, Bears fans, Matthew Judon would consistently win his one-on-one matchups. It would be easy money for him. He is on a contract year, but it would be intriguing to see him along this Chicago Bears defensive line. We can also consider that the Chicago Bears may not be interested in Matthew Judon. Once again, he is 32 years old. He is coming off a torn bicep. It is a contract year. Maybe they're not willing to give up any more draft capital to bring in a guy that's 32 years old on a contract year, coming off a major injury with that torn bicep. So they could look to develop their guys like Austin Booker, right? Javon Dexter, Zach Pickens, to really fill those roles and hopefully be that number two guy alongside Montez Sweat. And hopefully those guys step up to the plate this season for the Chicago Bears and get consistent pressure for the Chicago Bears defensive line. But I do think this option would be intriguing. But at the end of the day, just like how we always talk, what is going to be the price? If it's a 5th round pick, if it's a 6th round pick, I think it may be worth the call to the New England Patriots. I still think Matthew Judon still has a whole lot left in the tank. I think he would help us win right away. And if the Chicago Bears feel like they can compete at a high level and maybe make the playoffs, maybe make a run in the playoffs, this would be an intriguing ad for the Chicago Bears. And I still think Matthew Judon has a lot left in the tank. And I still think him and Montez Sweat would be a deadly duo and cause opposing offenses headaches week in and week out. So personally, in my personal opinion, if he is available and it's for the right price, I would totally be okay with Ryan Poles making this move to add Matthew Judon to the Chicago Bears defensive line. So overall, Bears fans, I just want to come on here really quick because this is the rumor that's been going around for the last couple of days. Would you welcome Matthew Judon in a Chicago Bears uniform? Do you think Ryan Poles should pull the trigger and bring Matthew Judon to Chicago? Let me know down below what you're thinking in the comment section. But as always, make sure you continue to hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms and make sure you share this episode of KIEQ on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. But other than that, be back for all new Bears podcasts right here on KIEQ on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and as always, bear down.
You've been listening to KIEQ on the Mic, a podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Thanks, guys, and bear down.